gentlemen, and thank you for joining us. We are sorry for the delay. It was due to situations beyond our control. The coalition spokesperson, Honorable Halifa Sallah, will give a statement now, and followed by the question and answer session. Then we'll move on to the local languages. Thank you.
This press statement from the office of the President-elect Adam Barrow. On Friday, 12th January 2016, a delegation of the Authority of Heads of State of ECOWAS, comprising the chairperson, President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Buhari, and ex-President John Dramani Mahama of Ghana, met outgoing President Jammeh at the State House and President-elect Barrow at the Cocoa Ocean. Their mission was to assist in resolving the current obstacles that militate against the peaceful transfer of executive power after the 1st December 2016 presidential elections. The meeting with President Jammeh, which lasted for 2 hours, gave rise to the articulation of his position. After highlighting what he considered to be numerous irregularities that emerged in the 1st December 2016 presidential elections, as announced by the IEC chairman, in 2 separate sets of results, he reaffirmed his commitment to a peaceful resolution of the impasse in accordance with the Constitution of the Gambia through the courts, and called for a return to the polls. On their part, the delegation declared that they are here to find a peaceful solution to the impasse arising out of the rejection of the election results, and reiterated their willingness to assist the 2 sides to come to an agreement based on the Gambian Constitution. The mediators met President-elect Adam Barrow and 2 commissioners of the Independent Electoral Commission. President-elect Barrow, on his part, maintained that the casting and counting of votes were monitored by all the stakeholders, and all the participants knew the results before they were announced. He indicated that the proper authority has declared him a winner, and the Constitution has made it clear that he should take oath and assume office on the day the term of office of the President Jammeh expires. He emphasized that the courts, as a remedy, provide a case for the loser, but that has never barred winners from assuming office in Ghana and Nigeria before the conclusion of hearing, and should not bar him from assuming office when outgoing President Jammeh's term expires. The IEC on this part has been very professional and disciplined as an umpire, and has not been tempted to make any public statements to answer to the allegations of impropriety by the APRC, aided and abetted by the national broadcaster GRTS, that has literally become the mouthpiece of the loser. At the end of the mission, His Excellency President Muhammad Buhari, President of Nigeria, declared his commitment to a peaceful resolution and conveyed that the delegation will submit a report to the Authority of ECOWAS Heads of State for consideration. The delegation further told President Jammeh that they would like to travel with President-elect Barrow to Mali so that he would be heard by all the heads of states to enable them to speak of mediation. Since then, the delegation continues to be in touch with both President Jammeh and President-elect Barrow. The need for a Gambian and global consensus before 19th January. All the stakeholders claim that they are pursuing a peaceful resolution of the impasse in the transfer of executive power after 1st December presidential election based on the dictates of the Gambian constitution. There is need to build a consensus on what is proper, reasonable, and justifiable in terms of the transfer of executive power after an election under the Gambian constitution. The consensus being propagated by the Office of President-elect Barrow is clear. It is premised on the fact that sovereignty resides in the Gambian people, and all authority to govern must be derived from the consent of the people. This is why Section 41 empowers the IEC to conduct elections. Section 43(2) of the Constitution orders that the Commission Court shall announce the results of all elections and referenda for which it is responsible. In every election, there must be a winner and loser. The Constitution gives right to both losers and winners in an election contest. The right of the winner in a presidential election. Once declared elected as president by the IEC, the winner has the right to assume office. This is stipulated by Section 63, subsection 2 of the Constitution, which states, the person declared elected as president shall take the prescribed oaths and assume office on the day the term of office of the incumbent president expires. Explicit. This is in line with 2006 amendment of the Constitution, Act number 9 of 2006. President-elect Barrow, who is declared the winner of the 1st December polls, should therefore assume office when incumbent President Jammeh's term expires. That is the language of the Gambian Constitution, which is incontrovertible. Suffice it to say, Section 63, subsection 1 has indicated when the term of an elected president should expire. It states the term of office of an elected president shall, subject to subsection 3 and 6, be for a term of 5 years. Hence, the President Jammeh, who assumed office in January 2012, cannot be in office after 18 January 2017. That would be unconstitutional. Secondly, he is not declared a winner by the IEC after the 1st December polls. Hence, he cannot be sworn in as president. Thirdly, the office of president cannot be kept vacant. Hence, the only development that is proper, reasonable, and justifiable under the Constitution is for the person declared elected to assume office. The right of the loser. Section 49 of the Constitution provides the loser with the right to file election petition. It states under Section 49, any registered political party which has participated in the presidential election may apply to the Supreme Court to determine the validity of the election of a president by filing a petition within 10 days of the declaration of the result of the election. The loser has the right to go to court, and the loser has gone to court. The inadequacy of the composition of the court and the lack of proof of service has led to an adjournment to May or November 2017. On the other hand, the loser has also tried to rely on the court to get the inauguration suspended until the election petition is heard and deliberated on. The Chief Justice has also recused from the case since the prayers seek to bar him from presiding over the swearing-in ceremony. The case is adjourned indefinitely. Now we are confronted with the situation of a countdown to the expiration of the term of office of the incumbent. What is in the national interest is for the person declared elected to be sworn and in as president and assume office and leave the court case to take their course and have their impact as and when they are decided. This is the dictate of the law, dictate of reason, and it is irrefutable. Clearing doubts on the results of the 1st December polls. The Office of President-elect wishes to be known that it was invited by the IEC for explanation on the issuing of 2 results after the 1st December polls, and it is not perturbed by the explanation given, which ought to be shared for the sake of clarity. The IEC explained that the error that led to 2 different results was caused by Excel shift error. In short, the tabulation of all the results, excluding Basse administrative area, was correct and stood as follows. Total results excluding Basse, Adama Barrow, 199,606 votes. Yahya Jammeh, 183,997 votes. Mama Kande, 78,479 votes. The IEC indicated that the total votes cast in the Basse administrative area was 63,909, and it was distributed as follows. Adama Barrow, 28,102, Yahya Jammeh, 24,490, Mama Kande, 11,289. Hence, if this figure was added properly to the votes of the candidates, the total results, including Basse, would be as follows. Adama Barrow, 227,708, Yahya Jammeh, 208,487, Mama Kande, 89,768. According to the IEC, there was Excel shift error. We took the total figure for Basse administrative area in the column belonging to Adama Barrow. The total vote for Adama Barrow for Basse administrative area moved to Yahya Jammeh's column. And the total vote for Yahya Jammeh in the Basse administrative area moved to Mama Kande's column. This gave the total vote due to the error as follows. Adama Barrow, 263,515, Yahya Jammeh, 212,099, and Mama Kande, 102,969. So it is very clear that this matter had to be taken based on good faith, and that the IEC made an error. This is how matters stand for the coalition. The incumbent is free to have doubt and go to the courts to clear its doubt, but not to use the national media for propaganda when the court has not made any pronouncement on its case. 19 January is a historic day in the national calendar that is fast approaching. The nation is in readiness for the first peaceful transfer of executive power in its history since independence. Our homeland is waiting to be united in diversity. It is waiting to breathe new life to our spirit of nationhood and our sense of belonging as a people, despite our ethno-linguistic origin, religion, or gender, to the Gambian nation. Our people are determined to build one nation, one country, one people, one Gambia. We have the opportunity to give Gambia a new start, a democratic start, or throw the country another generation behind its point of departure. All Gambians have to make a choice today or tomorrow. We could suspend the decision, but must be made. A peaceful transfer of executive power is a win-win situation. The ex-president would occupy the office of ex-president with all its rights and privileges as ex-president Jawara. The National Assembly, judiciary, police, military, civil service, etc. will remain, and reforms will be conducted to make them people-centered and in service delivery and serve the nation better. On the other hand, if there is a change by force, everything is torn asunder, and everything will be redone to put the pieces together. The road to certainty and uncertainty is before each Gambian. If all Gambian civilian and disciplined force or military agree to the peaceful route of transferring power, no one who is opposed to this would or could impose one's will on the rest. The peace and development of the country is in our sovereign hands. The Gambian people have no other homeland except the Gambia. We need to build a Gambia that is fit for all of us to live in. A Gambia that we will be proud to bequeath to our children and children's children is what we are challenged to commence building on the 19th of January 2017. We should all owe allegiance to our motherland and be able to do it, forward ever, backward never. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Halifa Sallah, spokesperson for the coalition. We might now invite questions from members of the press.
David, Financial Times.
Name and which organization you work for.
David Pilling, the Financial Times. Could you tell me if you think Adama Barrow will be sworn in on Thursday and in which city?
Adama Barrow will be sworn in on the 19th, on Thursday. There is an impasse currently. This has never happened. Such a transfer of power has never happened in the Gambia. That is why we are moving cautiously so that the history will be a peaceful one. So currently, as has already been said, he traveled with the ECOWAS mission and will be moving to capitals in the ECOWAS states to see whether heads of states, whether anybody with influence would be able to influence the current incumbent to agree to a peaceful transfer of power before the 19th. And if there is agreement, then obviously it will be happening at the stadium, and all plans are being made for that to happen. If uncertain events occur, well then other measures would eventually have to be taken, and that would require a different sort of planning. So we are saying the peaceful method is the method that we are pursuing until the 19th.
But just a question on that, could he be sworn in a Gambian embassy abroad, say in Dakar?
No. He'll be sworn in on Gambian territory, that I can assure you.
But an embassy is technically Gambian territory.
Yes, he will be sworn in on Gambian territory, I tell you, not in a Gambian territory in a foreign land.
Okay. Yes, my name is Amisana. My name is Amisana from Foreign Newspaper. I want to know who will preside over the swearing ceremony of President.
Well, that is constitutionally determined, and we will pursue that avenue. And I think if you listen to the court case today, they were trying to bar someone from actually presiding over the swearing in. And that is why that same someone decided to recuse from the case. So
are you sure that he will preside over the swearing?
We are not talking about being sure about anything. We are simply saying what is the constitutional mandate.
Yes, what about if in the case that he did not appear? So do you have other alternatives?
As we say, anybody who fails to perform his duty in accordance with the Constitution will be a rebel.
But do you have other alternatives?
Well, obviously there will have to be alternatives. That is precisely what I'm saying. That means that that person excludes himself or herself, whoever that person may be, from abiding by the dictates of the Constitution. But as you see, we are engaged in a process that is very constitutional, and that's why we are trying not to make pronouncement before the 19th.
The Minister of, my name is Wendy. I report for CBC News in Nigeria. I spoke to the Minister of Information today, and he said there is nowhere where it is written in the Constitution of the Gambia that the elected must be sworn in on the 19th of January. Well, how do you respond to that?
Well, I've already read the section 63 too. I refer him to that, and I hope he will open up the national television and radio, and I'll challenge him for a debate. I'll use this opportunity to tell him to open up the national television, and then I'll show him the portion that says that. And he shows me anything to the contrary.
Okay,
Let me read the portion again, and you hear it for yourself, what it actually says. It says very clearly that the person declared elected as president, that's Adam Barrow, shall, that's mandatory, take the prescribed oaths and assume office on the day the term of office of the incumbent president expires. So the 19th, the president is no longer the president of the Gambia. His term expires on the 18th. So therefore, this is black and white.
Okay, but they also filed an interlocutory injunction restraining the judge from, or any judge whatsoever, from swearing him in on that day. So who is going to be doing the swearing in, like she said?
Well, as you know rightly, filing and getting a decision are entirely two different things. And their method of filing created a problem for them. They included the very person who should hear their case as a party. And therefore the person has no option but to recuse from the case. So I think things are turning out very badly for them. And definitely I do not want to caricature them, because we must be beyond that. In actual fact, I think they should rethink, and we will engage in consultation with them so that they can rethink. Losing an election is not very pleasant. We know that. We've been going through that process for many years.
Oh, yes.
So we know that more than them. So maybe we can counsel them and help them. Not caricature, I sincerely mean that, to really temper emotion with reason. And I think that will help the country. Thank you.
Yeah, I actually want to say, representing the Post newspaper here. My question is going to be like, yesterday we saw President Jammeh on TV talking to the head of the ECOWAS commission about a possible, if ECOWAS can help them with facilitating for the judges to be here in Uganda so that they can sit over the case. If ECOWAS consider his plea, what will be the position of the coalition?
Well, the position of the coalition has been very clear. The loser has a right to go to court. I think it's their own making that they have not left the court with the proper composition. It's an indictment to a certain extent. So in short, we are confident that no matter which judge comes, the results are irrefutable, because the counting was on the spot, and all the stakeholders who were competent knew the results before it was declared by the IEC. So we have no doubt that we won the election, that President-elect Barrow won. We have no doubt about that. If we had doubt, then it is something else. But there is absolutely no doubt that the elections were won by President-elect Barrow. So, but they have a right to go to court, and the court should be properly constituted. We have no objection to that, but it's rather late for 19th, and therefore compromise is necessary for President Barrow to assume office, and the court continues whatever its consequences. Well, it will impact on whatever decision has been made by the 19th.
Yeah, but he's insisting that the inauguration cannot go ahead without this the court ruling, and then that was put to the ECOWAS head. That's why I'm asking this question. If ECOWAS considered all those things, your action like the coalition, what are you going to do about that? Are you going to accept that request from the president, or?
Yeah, I think this is really a good development for Gambians. because what we have known is when President Jammeh speaks, it is law, it is an edict of some sort, and this is what people are used to. So whatever he says is what we keep on repeating and repeating and repeating, and it becomes the truth that everybody must consider. And what people have failed to realize is that you have two presidents, president-elect and outgoing president. And what you have seen with your naked eyes is outgoing President Jammeh declaring the election results to be null and void. He annulled it and then said we must go back to the polls. That was his first declaration. But that declaration was refuted. And ultimately he accepted it and decided to go to the polls. Well, so that shows you that his statements are personal opinions. He also is entitled to freedom of speech. And he is entitled to freedom of opinion. He is bound to express his opinion. Take it as his opinion, not the law of the country. So what is important now is exactly the question you've asked is simple. He has said that nothing will go on until the judges preside over the case. That is his opinion. We are saying that's not the law. What is the law is that irrespective of the conclusion of the judges, that is a side matter, it's a peripheral matter. A loser cannot have more right than the winner. It's illogical. So the loser cannot suspend the exercise of right of the winner. So that's what we are emphasizing, and that's the logic that all Gambians, that's what we call the consensus, Gambian consensus. We are trying to convey, we are not imposing on you. Reason with us. Reason and see whether what he has said is you as Gambians, what you can accept as the truth or what we are saying. And if we accept that what we are saying is the truth, let us all believe in it, let's act to put it into operation. That is what is demanded.
Thank you very much. My name is Ibu Wage. I'm a TV journalist and a filmmaker. It is clear from what Barrow has been saying all along, President Barrow, that he is confident that President Jammeh will finally step down peacefully. He keeps saying this. In one of his interviews with BBC, probably 2 or 3 days ago, Fadil Keen asked him, what would you want to do? Then he said he would want to talk to President Jammeh directly. He did say this. And it was on air that Fadil Keen said, I hope the president is listening. This is an offer to talk directly to Barrow. I want to ask you, has that taken off the ground?
Well, I believe President Jammeh was the first to call President-elect Barrow to congratulate him and say he was ready to cooperate. The whole world appreciated the action. He reneged the position. And recently you've heard him say that he is appointing a mediator general. And that sort of created an opening because there was an impasse, no communication. Now he has his own, telling him to go and communicate with the rest. Let's see what happens between today, tomorrow, and day after. Essentially, there should be a line of communication.
Is there one between the two of them?
Well, indirect, I've said that
no, recently.
Well, recently, there is not. But
has an attempt been made by Barrow to reach out?
Well, that's what I answered before, that what is very clear now is that throughout, it was not an issue of reaching out, but an issue of fulfilling a constitutional mandate, that he is to assume office, and therefore the incumbent has something to give, ministries, the dossier of ministries, the dossier of public corporation. So in short, what we are, to answer your question, I see the hand, I'm speaking too much. Definitely, from the coalition, the doors are open. We are moving more and more to work towards a peaceful settlement until the 19th. But by the 19th, obviously, his term would have expired, and he would no longer be the president of the Republic of the Gambia. So we hope he realizes that and work very fast with speed, so that there can be a conclusion that will be a win-win situation.
My name is Colin Freeman. I'm a freelance for the Daily Telegraph in London. Is Mr. Barrow going to be instructing his supporters to come out on the streets at any point this week to demonstrate their feelings about the situation?
Well, when President Jammeh declared that he has annulled the elections and that we must go back to the polls, you had all the justification to go to the street and say, we won the election, how could you annul it? Because that was an unconstitutional statement. The reason why President-elect Barrow did not call supporters to go in the street, he was confident that he is the president, incoming president of the Gambia. And that was no longer the demand to go and protest for what you already own. So what he asked his supporters to do, to prepare for his inauguration. And that is what is still being told to the supporters. Let them prepare themselves for this inauguration. This is no longer, we've gone beyond protest. When we were opposition, we'll protest. And now we are actually the people in charge of the country in the making. So there is no need to protest. So what is left is to take what we own, what he owns as the president-elect.
Could I?
Yes, indeed.
Could I push you on that a little and just ask that if, for example, for some reason Mr. Jammeh prevents Mr. Barrow attending the inauguration on Thursday, would that situation change at all?
Well, what is clear is that President Jammeh has armed people at the moment. At the time of the inauguration, on the 18th, by midnight after, those people will have the responsibility to owe allegiance to the Republic and to a new person who will be sworn in. So they should not be under his dictate. So anybody who accepts to be under the dictate of a president whose term has expired will be a rebel. Yes, you may go and kill people. And people are likely to resist that. Other actions are likely to happen. There can be dead bodies in the street. There could be destroyed buildings. Anything could happen under such circumstances. That is why some people fear that we may end up with that eventuality. That is why some people are looking for a way out under the circumstances. That is what has evoked the uncertainty in the country, the unpredictability of the incumbent. But the incoming president is very predictable, very calm, very peaceful. The coalition has been very predictable, very calm, very peaceful. Real lovers of the people of the Gambia, real lovers of the nation, people who do not want anybody to die and any property to be destroyed. So we are demanding that the incumbent reciprocate. If he refuses, history is before him, and history will judge.
So is President Barrow asking the people to come out on the 19th and partake in the inauguration ceremony?
Yes, when you say come out, I said come out. They are to be ready to partake in his inauguration. That's all. People are very joyous. If you see what they are doing and the preparation they are making massive preparation for the inauguration. And all Gambians should, and all lovers of the Gambians should.
Excuse me. Hello. Yahya Jammeh here for a newspaper. It's barely 3 days to the inauguration. The political impasse continues, but the preparation and the development of coalition also continues. You just told us that people are preparing and they are preparing massively. Can you tell us that the development of the coalition concretely, how are you preparing for this inauguration? So in case this Independence Stadium, which is the first plan where the inauguration will be held, so in case the Independence Stadium is occupied by the military officer, where, which ground exactly will the inauguration be held? Who are we expecting in the Gambia? Thank you.
You are talking about a very uncertain situation, but also a very certain process that is constitutionally backed that must take place. The uncertainty is the reaction. And we cannot plan reaction. We must prepare for it. We cannot plan that this is going to be the reaction, but we must prepare for any reaction. So in short, what we are anticipating is that every Gambian, civil or military, will love their country so much that they will not allow it to be torn to shreds. So we are very confident that the vast majority of Gambian people will want a peaceful transfer of power. And we hope that the incumbent will respond to the demand of those Gambian people. So that is what we anticipate. So what the committee is doing, inaugural committee, is going ahead as if there will be no problem. That is the plan. That's the preparation being made. But through these days of negotiation, if you come to see that reason is not prevailing, of course, you will always look for alternative means of evacuation.
Yes.
I hope.
And what is that alternative?
Well, again, I think you do not expect something that has not taken place to be described now. We are saying the process now is preparing for what is normal. And we are trying to get that cooperation. As you see that it is not normal, then you'll be able to tell people what the alternative is. It will be said when the time comes. We only hope that that time will never come.
Yes, I'm Lamin Sanya, freelance. Early out of this morning, I saw a story reported that there was a mass arrest in military barracks from federal barracks and other places. And this after that I was coming here, I saw a man who has a photo of his, I don't know, niece or daughter. So he's a military officer, one somebody. So I wanted to know what is your reaction to that news? That arrest is going on in military barracks, from federal to military barracks.
Well, you know that this is a period of uncertainty for the incumbent. What he had said and what we will be pursuing as a coalition is the appointment of a mediator general and the promise that there will be no arrest based on any political consideration from backdating it, making it retroactive from November and putting it all the way after the expiration of his term. So essentially, tomorrow, I will definitely be consulting the mediator general to find out what that pronouncement really means in practice. So if there's anybody whose relative or friend or anybody close to him or her who is arrested, well, we are available for a discussion so that we take that on board in this discussion to try to create a space, a greater democratic space and respect for human rights up to the end of the period. We've talked about the radio stations. I don't know whether all of them have been asked to go on air again, but if some of them are still not asked to go on air, that was one issue that was raised when the discussion took place, one will look at it. Yes, so that is in essence what I can say. We are ready to receive information and take it back to them and tell the press what we have seen or heard.
Okay. I am Mohamed Lamin. I'm Mohamed Lamin Serikan. I am from Activista, the Youth Network. Young people are...
Can I say that this is for the press?
Okay.
We can arrange other medium of communication after that.
All right.
We now come to the end of this press conference, and thank you for joining us. We would have later have the Wono and the Mandinka version for our local listeners.
Thank you.